Arsenal head to Manchester United Sunday 4:30 for that one. Now we're going to find out where Manchester United actually are. Now we're going to find out where Arsenal have actually got themselves to. But Arsenal going so well, Martin, it's not gone unnoticed on you. 100% start to the season. So Gabriel Jesus has been an extremely decent acquisition thus far, and he's been speaking ahead of this one, and he says, sure, I'm buoyant about my own form, but I'm buoyant about the mood around the club.
I'm so excited to be here, happy, because at the beginning, when Edu started to talk with me, I was like, yeah, I mean, because the project, the things the club wants to achieve is amazing. It's just amazing. And then, yeah, to find one place where I can play more, you know. I was happy, but like a player, everyone have to understand, we want to play more. I'm living my life here in the best way, like training hard, like always trying to do my things, you know, try to be happy again, and then I am.
So he is very happy. One has to say, Martin, this guy has done extremely well since he's arrived there.
He's been a breath of fresh air. And I think what's happened, really, you have to credit Arteta with this. He's giving him his wings back, because he's playing in that central position. And often at Man City, he'd be out on that wing. He never really played down the middle. And, of course, he waited, didn't he? He was the heir apparent, really, for Aguero. That never came. He was allowed to leave. So you have to, Pep's, you know, that's a healthy situation. He's allowed him to go. But Arsenal have really benefited, because he sets the benchmark. His sharpness right from the off in the first game of the season against Palace, Zinchenko as well, those two players coming in. I think there are lots of similarities with Man City. Of course, Arteta worked alongside the great man for 3 years. So, of course, some of that DNA has crossed over, and Arsenal now playing like in a Man City fashion, but taking two of their players is a good way of fast-tracking that to get that message in. And I think Arsenal now, down the both flanks, absolutely outstanding. Ødegaard given the captaincy, and I think that's really helped his game. He's flourishing. He's been more creative.
There you go. You get rid of Aubameyang. It's all changed.
No. Why do we have to keep going back to that? So it's really positive for Arsenal. But when you look at Manchester United this weekend, Jim, if they win that game, Manchester United, they go 3 points behind Arsenal. It's quite remarkable how they turn their season around with 3 wins on the bounce. And Ten Hag as well is now getting his rolling his sleeves up and solving this. But it's a significant game. It's always a significant game.
It's a phrase I hate, Simon, but of Arsenal, now are they now being given the credit they deserve? I don't know who they deserve it from, but are they beginning?
It depends what story you want to write.
Sounded a bit condescending the way he said that, did he?
The credit they deserve.
Well, what he's doing
is a football phrase.
He's taking a swipe at the fact that Arsenal fans are saying that they're not getting enough credit at this moment in time for the achievements, and people are qualifying it by saying you haven't played anybody yet. And it depends what argument you want to run. If you want to run an argument in isolation, are Arsenal doing really well? The argument is yes, they really look a good side. Yes, they do. If you want to then add a little factor in it, which is, can Arsenal win the league? No, they can't. They're not good enough to win the league yet. So it depends how you want to qualify this conversation. I agree entirely with Martin that the signings, I think Arsenal have always played well. So I don't think they're trying to imitate Man City. They've got a style that's about moving the ball around and being very easy on the eye.
Yeah, but when you see Zinchenko moving into midfield, where have we seen that before?
Granted, but I think the 3 components that Arsenal have got exactly right at this moment in time is Zinchenko is a wonderful addition. I think Ødegaard is a very key component. Yeah. And I think they've decided to convince the boy Jesus that actually he's a centre forward, because when we had Tim Vickery on here, Tim Vickery told us about his time in Brazil and how he sort of said to the Brazilian coach, I think I play all right on the wide, I'll be better out there, rather than having the courage to say I want to be a centre forward. So now they've convinced him that what he really is what he should be.
Let's not forget Saliba at the back.
All right, of course. All right, so they're all
like a new signing.
All right, yeah, well done.
Hold on. It seems to be, if you're listening to this and you're an Arsenal fan, it's either about, do Arsenal get enough credit? Do Arsenal celebrate too much? These are all sideshows. Just keep winning.
Well,
keep winning.
I mean,
and keep
the man
improving.
looking at you said,
does it really matter?
Yeah, they did over-celebrate against Fulham. You joined Keys and Souness on that one.
I joined Richard Keys on that, and I would join anyone that talked about Liverpool's celebration and the necessity to go over the top. I want celebrations. I want emotion.
Isn't it?
Yeah, there's a balance though, isn't there?
1-0 down in the game.
We're asking fans to behave themselves and conduct and toe a certain line. It has to come from somewhere. It has to start with somewhere. Nothing wrong with celebrating. Getting the balance between celebrating and you've won the European Cup when you're winning a domestic game is probably not the ideal scenario. And when you take it to a level that engage specifically clearing benches like the Liverpool-Newcastle game that created all that sort of.
I mean, that was slightly different. I mean, all Arsenal were doing was celebrating. I mean, I
don't see anything wrong in that.
But it was Keys that brought it up, and I said yes. I think there's an over-celebration, and the argument that he advanced was you just won an individual game. So I said, yeah, I can't see that. Soon as said the same. You've just brought it up. We didn't bring it up. We're talking about Arsenal's performance. You're saying don't talk about these things as a sideshow whilst talking about them.
Yeah, because
Make your mind up.
Because I've been sat at home listening to you all week, so I wanted to say my piece on it.
Oh,
no, not really.
Harsh. I mean, Granit Xhaka is saying, look, we celebrate if we win. It doesn't matter against who. That sounds fair enough to me, man.
I don't see there's an issue with it. This is a team that's re-establishing its character, its personality, isn't it? Now it's growing reputation. They're losing against Fulham, a game where they should probably, everyone's looking for Arsenal to trip up. They go 1-0 down, they get back in the game, and they get a late goal.
Who's looking for Arsenal to trip up?
Who says they can't celebrate?
I mean, Arsenal Fan TV might be looking for them to trip up so they can do their usual band of.
Who's looking for Arsenal to trip up?
Victims complex.
Jim, you just said you started the show by saying, do Arsenal get enough credit?
Well,
because that's what people are saying. That's what the fans are
asking. No, but where's that coming from? So obviously people are saying
the fans.
Well, look, I think they should. I don't think it's about pats on the back. I think it's about trophies. Look, it's a great start, and that's all it is right now. But when you go to Manchester United, and they tried to, I think Sky didn't even want the game last year. Your former colleagues, but now suddenly that game now is suddenly very significant, isn't it?
What's it going to do with me?
It's very significant once more because if Arsenal can win there, we all say, hold on, that's another fence they've jumped there. But if Man United get back in and win this game, suddenly huge significance for both teams once more.
So is it viewed really as a statement of intent if they win 3 points?
Every win is a statement of intent.
That's right.
Every week. You know, it's just one of that. You can't just this is the worry now, and he's got to keep that momentum going. You don't want to be listening to the plaudits. You know, what happens is, in the end, you have so many good stories in the team. Everybody wants to. There's that inner competition. You know, why is they mention him? Why is he getting all the credit? And then you start to become really successful. That's what you want. You know, that right flank of Arsenal, Saka hasn't scored a goal yet. Come on, fella, let's score some goals. Brilliant, though. In that assist for the goal that Martinelli scored. Now, Martinelli, can you keep that going? Didn't really score enough goals last year. You're doing it now. So the pot is boiling. Xhaka's coming in playing his best football now for Arsenal. But, you know, there's a little bit of an issue in the midfield. Who's going to be the central defensive partnership?
I just want to know that we're
so it's all growing right now.
Absolutely.
We're applauding this.
We're putting it through a critical prism and giving people an opportunity to debate it.
Yes.
Exactly.
And I think the most important thing that we've all learned is you spend all your time at home listening to us during the week.
No, I put it on for 5 minutes or so, and then I realised I need to do some proper work.
That's right.
Get moving.
Good man. So, Arsenal getting the respect from us that they very much deserve. Will they win at Old Trafford? Every chance.
Jim White and Simon Jordan. Monday to Friday mornings from 10 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.